Back at 7:30 on a Wednesday morning, the 23rd of August, 2006. Let me go home. That's our home on 49th and Rockefeller Plaza, otherwise known as Studio 1A. As you may have heard, it's under renovation, getting a bit of a facelift over the summer, but we are moving back in there in 3 weeks. Guys, hurry up. 3 weeks. We're moving back in there. Same day that we're joined by a young lady named Meredith Vieira here on the Today Show. So a lot happened. There's Lou Maroney. Haven't seen Louie in a long time. Used to see him in police lineups. Anyway, we're going to take you for a little tour, find out how the renovations are going in just a couple of minutes to get your hard hats ready.
Very much a construction site there, as you can see.
It still is, but they'll get a lot of progress made in the next couple of weeks. Meanwhile, inside our summer studio, Matt Lauer along with Natalie Morales. And coming up in just a couple of minutes, JonBenét Ramsey murder suspect John Carr. Last week he said he was with JonBenét when she died, and he added that he's not an innocent man. But is he telling the truth, or is he just delusional? And if he's guilty, is he setting everyone up for an insanity defense? We're going to have much more on that story coming up in just a couple of minutes.
And then, Matt, there was a lot of talk about the so-called new normal after an alleged terror plot was foiled in London a few weeks ago. So now that you're severely restricted on what you can bring on board your flight, what is a traveler to do? We're going to find out what the travel industry is doing to help you out, and it may surprise you.
All right, and a little later on, our Today Throws a Wedding couples are back. They have done some singing, they have done some dancing, and this week we had a surprise task for them, one that's probably a nightmare for the guys. We're going to find out how they did.
That's right, not going to give it away, but we do want to begin with a very serious story right now. JonBenét Ramsey, the murder suspect John Carr, he's made certainly some very bizarre statements in the press, but is he really a guilty man, crazy, or both? Here's NBC's Kevin Tibbles.
Some say the answer is no.
Well, he could have been, in another state of the union or a state of confusion. We don't know, and that's part of the investigator's job, is to take what he says and...
And it's not just what Carr says. Dr. Morrison also studies closely his body language.
Hey, I know what I'm... And look at my eyes and look how I'm seducing you.
But in the end, only a formal examination will determine Carr's mental state, and only a trial will determine his innocence or guilt. For today, Kevin Tibbles, NBC News, Chicago.
Dr. Keith Abloh is a forensic psychologist. Next half hour, girl power. The messages young women are getting today are confusing. We're going to help parents walk the fine line between self-esteem and self-destruction. But up next, what the travel business is doing to help flyers dealing with the new security rules. That's right after this.
We're back at 7:43, and this morning on Today's Travel, navigating those new airport security rules. It's been nearly 2 weeks now since London police announced they'd foiled a terrorist plot to blow up airplanes with seemingly innocuous carry-on items. Up next, there's no place like home. We're going to check out the renovations of Studio 1A. But first, these messages.
Now it offers
As the song suggests, you've probably heard a new day is dawning here on Today. 3 weeks from today, on September 13th, Meredith Vieira officially joins the team. And on that same day, September 13th, we are unveiling a brand new renovated studio, Studio 1A. And I'm standing in the studio right now to give you a progress report. Al, by the way, is downstairs in our control room, and Natalie is upstairs in another studio area, in the green room area. But first, let's talk about this studio. It's going to be a little bigger for one reason. We are adding a floor to this studio. What you never saw when you watched the show in the past was that in the middle of Studio 1A, if you looked up, there used to be a hole in the ceiling, and you could look right through to kind of an observation area upstairs. Well, we've closed that hole in, and we've added a complete new studio upstairs. If you look back down here, Tommy, sorry, I just kind of tricked you there. This used to be the home base area where we would open the show every day. It looks like a construction site now, but the progress will be made over the next 3 weeks. You can see that it's going to be brighter, a lot of whites and off-whites. There's going to be a lot of brighter lights. Over here is the interview area that used to be all kind of wood and darker tones. That's going to be spruced up and brightened up as well. And over here in what used to be the sofa area, you can see we've got walls of lights that will actually be able to project video at some point. We've got video monitors, big ones about the size of doors, that will be able to move around and show you all kinds of fancy video as well. So lighter and brighter shades of white, Al, which is a good idea because I know from our color charts you and I are both Summers.
That's right, we are, Matt. And here, this is our control room where all the signals, all the camera, all the feeds come in and then get disseminated. This is all for high-definition television. We will be broadcasting in high-definition TV. This area right here, this is where our executive producer, Jim Bell, will be sitting. It's the Captain Kirk area, and he can actually lean over and swat our director, Joe Michaels, on the head right there. We also have a brand new, spanking brand new audio, digital audio. It's going to be pretty impressive. Then back behind over this way, you can see some of our audio guys in there. Jimmy, come over here. This is where a lot of the producer brain trust will be, in these booths where we can actually close them off and pump in goofy gas. So that'll be pretty nice. And for those of you who want to come to the NBC tour, back over here, Windows will actually allow you to come and see what happens during the the show in our control room. Fortunately, you will not be able to hear what goes on in the control room. Natalie?
All right, thanks, Al. Well, I'm upstairs, actually, right above you, and if you take a look, you can see our summer set right out there right now. Well, this right here is probably the area of biggest change. This is going to be the area of our permanent Today's Kitchen. Very Martha Stewart, as you can see right here, we're going to have our permanent setup for a fantastic gourmet kitchen. This is going to be our prep area over here, so we're going to have some great cooking segments for you. And if you just walk this way with me, you can see this is all very much a construction site, thus hard hats definitely required. This is the dressing room area, which is still kind of undergoing construction. And Matt, as you can see in your dressing room, not much has changed as of yet, but your chair is ready and waiting for you. Just a little more dust on it.
All right, and we're going to be there. They say it's going to be finished, what, in 3 weeks, right?
That's right. All goes as planned.
That's cute, guys. That's what they tell us, at least. Anyway, Meredith Vieira, a new anchor in a new studio in 3 weeks. If you want to learn more about Meredith, check out our website at today.msnbc.com. Got much more ahead right after this.